Good day, Crime Talk aficionados. This is ScottReisch of CrimeTalk. And on the docket today, we have a heavy docket. First, we're going to talk about the Lewis case in South Carolina. Didn't come back well for him. Then we're going to talk about the Dulos updates in Connecticut, asking everybody to maybe just lighten up a little bit. And we have the dumb criminal of the week. Let's talk about it. Good afternoon, Crime Talk aficionados. This is Scott Reisch of Crime Talk. And first on the docket, we have the Timothy Jones Jr. update in South Carolina. A South Carolina jury has found Timothy Jones Jr. guilty of murdering his 5 young children, now allowing the prosecutors to move forward in the penalty phase and seek the death penalty. Apparently, Mr. Jones showed no reaction as the Lexington County jury delivered 5 guilty verdicts on murder after considering the case over 2 days. The same jury will return this week to hear arguments from prosecutors and Jones' lawyers before deciding his fate. Now, for those who don't know, Jones, 37, was a single father and computer engineer who, after killing one of his children, decided to kill the 4 others rather than allow them to end up with his ex-wife, is what prosecutors have alleged. Now, Jones's attorneys are expected to argue that his mental health problems were worsened by drug use and his wife's infidelity. In confessions and statements to psychiatrists, Jones claimed that he killed one of his sons after the child broke an electrical outlet in the home. To punish him, Jones forced the boy to do various strenuous exercises for a long time, and that he was later found dead in his bed. Instead of seeking help like any rational parent would do in this particular situation, Jones considered what to do for several hours before deciding to strangle his other 4 children, all between the ages of 1 year and 8 years old. He claimed to have done so to send the children to heaven together. Jones then wrapped the children's bodies in plastic and traveled with them around the Southeast, making erratic trips and buying synthetic marijuana, according to court records. Jones also confessed to researching countries that didn't extradite, researched how to disintegrate bodies faster, and then would play his daughter's favorite song. He did this for 9 days prior to dumping the bodies on a hillside in rural Alabama. These children were abandoned like garbage in literally garbage bags. Now, at trial, the defense argued that Jones was not guilty by reason of insanity. We've discussed this in a previous episode. That doesn't mean that he would have gotten completely off. He would have gone to the mental hospital and probably spent the rest of his life there in the hospital. But now he's looking at the death penalty or life in prison, okay? If the jury rejected the not guilty by insanity, Mr. Jones is going to have a really bad day in the next coming days. Perhaps someone will have some sympathy or mercy. But even if your one child died by accident, to then go and kill 4 others, to then travel around and try to plan your escape, that is not evidence of mental illness or insanity. That is evidence of consciousness of guilt, flight. Oftentimes juries will receive what they call a flight instruction that says you may consider the fact that the person fled the crime scene to avoid apprehension. Don't think things are going to turn out well for Mr. Jones. So the next case on the docket is the disappearance of the mother of 5 of Jennifer Dulos. It is believed that Jennifer Dulos is dead based upon her husband, Photo Dulos, and his paramour, who were dropping off blood-soaked clothing and other sponge-type items that had Mrs. Dulos' blood on it in various trash cans throughout a nearby city. So this case is unfortunately rather typical of some divorce-type situations. Jennifer Dulos and her now estranged husband, Photos Dulos, married in 2004, and they filed for divorce in 2017. In 2017, Jennifer Dulos filed an emergency order for full custody of their 5 children, which was denied. Court documents show that Jennifer and Photos Dulos were granted shared custody of the children until the end of the divorce proceedings. Jennifer Dulos alleged that her husband exhibited intensifying, irrational, unsafe, bullying, threatening, and controlling behaviors, stating that she was afraid for her safety as well as the physical safety and emotional well-being of the children. The mother also alleged that Photos Dulos threatened to kidnap their children in May of 2017 if she did not agree to the terms of their divorce settlement, and that he had bought a gun that year. Jennifer Dulos also alleged that in June of 2017, Photos Dulos became enraged, appeared out of control, and blamed her for scheduling activities for the children on a Saturday morning. Jennifer claimed that she was scared, tried to leave the room. Photo Dulos apparently followed her upstairs and into a bedroom where he shut the door and blocked it, so she was trapped, and verbally attacked her and physically intimidated Jennifer Dulos. She stated in court documents that she was afraid of her husband. She stated to the court, "I know that filing for divorce and filing this motion will enrage him. I know he will retaliate by trying to harm me in some way." Of course, Photos Dulos denied any of these allegations in court documents and claimed that the purchase of the gun was simply for home security reasons. And in typical divorce-type fashion, Photo Dulos also stated that his wife called him a psychopath and told the children that he does not care about them. In addition, Photos Dulos claimed that his wife said to the children, "I will make sure the divorce takes 2.5 years and I can have the mafia break your dad's leg with a baseball bat." In court proceedings, Photo Dulos also stated in December of 2017, according to an email to his wife, "Our children deserve a mother and a father, not one or the other. And if we can't live together, we can at least get along for the sake and benefit." So May 24th was the last time that Jennifer Dulos was seen. Jennifer was last seen from dropping off her children at a school, according to police, and they believed to be driving her 2017 black Chevrolet Suburban. Her vehicle was later found in New Canaan. Thank you for all the people from Connecticut who helped me pronounce that, and I hope I got it right that time. Investigators believe that Jennifer Dulos suffered a serious physical attack in her garage, where blood stains and blood spatter were found, according to arrest warrants. New Canaan police are asking for residents to provide surveillance video camera from May 22nd to 25th to help in the search. Many businesses and homeowners are in fact doing that, and police are reviewing those new tapes now. On June 1, Photos Dulos of Farmington and his live-in girlfriend, Michelle Traconis, were arrested, charged with tampering with or fabricating physical evidence and hindering prosecution, according to authorities. More charges are likely, is what the prosecutors allege. Now, does this sound familiar? Just like the Patrick Frazee case here in Colorado, they believe that Kelsey Barrett is deceased. They believe they have a physical crime scene, but they have not located a body. That's my YouTube CrimeTalk aficionados, is why it is so important to have a body in a homicide case, because you do not know without certainty if somebody didn't just pack up and leave the place. There's so many scenarios that one can come up with. They have to see the body. People want to see the body. Is it impossible? No, but it is much more difficult. And let's just be clear, I am not telling anyone if you commit a crime to make sure there's no body found, okay? I'm not giving legal advice to do that. I'm talking common sense, legal realities. I know some people got very offended when I said, if you're going to commit a crime, don't take your cell phone. Well, that's common knowledge, people. It was off the cuff. Lighten up. Clothes and sponges with Jennifer Dulos' blood were found in trash cans in Hartford, where court documents said surveillance cameras captured a man appearing to be Fotos Dulos disposing of garbage bags in multiple receptacles, according to police affidavits. A woman in the passenger seat of the man's car fits the appearance and description of Troconis, according to the affidavits. Yesterday, Jennifer Dulos' mother, who lives in New York and is 85, filed a motion for custody of the children. And as of today, the mother of Jennifer Dulos, Gloria Farber, now has full custody of all of the children. Mr. Fotos Dulos still remains in custody on a $500,000 bond, which is somewhat surprising given the fact that he is a builder in a very expensive part of town doing custom builds. But it also shows that he is probably leveraged. Like most builders, they are usually robbing from Peter to pay for Paul to do the next job, and he's probably leveraged to the hilt. There's also information out there that Jennifer Dulos' father, who's now deceased, had loaned Fotos Dulos money for his company to succeed, and they were actually in some dispute about that. So you have a guy who's divorced, running a company, leveraged, has a new mistress, girlfriend, whatever you want to call her. The guy's probably broke. And the girlfriend, Miss Troconis, is out on a $500,000 bond. And if I was her attorney, I would be getting as much information as I could for her to be able to go to the district attorney, the prosecutor in this particular case, and try to get the best deal possible. Once again, sound familiar? Patrick Frazee case here in Denver, Colorado. Maybe we'll put a link below where that you can watch the Patrick Frazee case summaries if you're not familiar with that case. And I am sure that someone will be offended by this comment. But when I say this is going to get interesting or this is going to get good, it's going to get good in the aspect of the investigators are going to be put to the test to try and locate the body of Jennifer Dulos, presuming that she is deceased. The attorneys are going to be trying to cut a deal because everyone is going to be out for themselves to not go to prison for the rest of their lives. Mr. Troconis has a young child, and I'm sure she doesn't want to be visiting that child behind bars, at least not indefinitely. So that's what I mean where it's going to get interesting. All right. Next thing on the docket, lighten up. I kind of alluded to it already. I get that people will be critical of anything that I say or do. I get that. Frankly, it really doesn't bother me. As someone who's been a criminal defense attorney for as long as I have, it doesn't bother me. I've received death threats. I've heard it all. How can you represent those people? How can you do this? You're scum. You should be in jail for helping this person get off. I've heard it all before. But I actually received a comment that said, basically everybody knows that your phone tracks anywhere and everything that you do. And if you're going to commit a crime, why would you be so stupid to do that? It shows the mental state of people when they do that. They're not thinking clearly. They're thinking in the emotion of it. They're not thinking rationally, because if they truly planned something out, they wouldn't do that, right? So everyone gets offended by something, everything. I get that. That was a common sense statement. But I had a viewer that actually said I should be arrested for doing that. Okay? It's commentary based upon facts that we know about, opinions based upon my experience as a practicing criminal defense attorney, not only here in the state of Colorado, but in many, many federal courts across the country over the year. Hopefully that's the reason why you're tuning in, is that I'm providing some insight, some perspective that you're not going to get from the evening news or picking up a newspaper, okay? And yes, sometimes there'll be comments made that may seem insensitive. Yes, because guess what, ladies and gentlemen? I had to do a sentencing the other day for a client that was convicted related to the child abuse of 2 young children. And to this day, and I will believe it until I am gone, he was not guilty as a matter of law. The judge allowed the case to go to the jury, and the jury convicted him because he was on the property. He has no duty to do that, okay? And so sometimes if I have to make a comment and it may sound inappropriate or out of jest, it's probably because if we can't laugh about some of this stuff, no matter how tragic it may be, we would probably cry. It's almost like a coping mechanism, ladies and gentlemen. So this is a crime talk show about real crime, about real murders, real bad things that go on in the world. And if people want to live in their little bubble and ignore the facts, avoid reality, avoid being intellectually honest, then guess what? Don't watch the channel, okay? This channel is for grown-ups. This channel is for people that don't want to sit here and say, oh, this is the way it should be. And the good guys are always going to win and the bad guys are always going to lose. And the cops are always going to do it right. It doesn't always work out that way, ladies and gentlemen. It's called reality. Now, let's end on a positive note. The last thing on the docket, Dumb Criminal of the Week. Our first contestant on the Dumb Criminal of the Week comes from Florida. Peter Wagman, 37, and his 41-year-old girlfriend had recently been in an argument over infidelity by his girlfriend. Around 4:45 a.m. on Sunday morning, the police reports allege that the victim awoke to having ketchup being poured all over her body. Mr. Wagman was apparently yelling, "That's what you get, biatch." When the police arrived at the residence, they found the woman covered in ketchup. Mr. Wagman denied the condiment attack, but he was immediately under suspicion because the police officers noticed in plain view ketchup on his pant leg. Apparently, these two have had a history of domestic spats among one another, and Mr. Wegman was charged with 1 count of misdemeanor battery. Now, for those who are easily offended, one would have to say if one is going to pour ketchup all over his girlfriend's body and you don't want to be accused of pouring ketchup on her body, make sure you don't get any ketchup on her leg. Our next contestant on the Dumb Criminal of the Week involves a young woman by the name of Shannelle Hansen, common spelling, Shannella Hansen. It's alleged that Miss Hansen purchased a McChicken sandwich about 8:20 p.m. on Friday at the drive-thru window at the local McDonald's. The sandwich, obviously from McDonald's, a chain. Why do people go to chain restaurants? For consistency. One thing, consistency, I guess 2 things, and clean bathrooms. Well, this sandwich did not live up to the expectations, so Miss Hansen was not satisfied with simply asking for a replacement. No, because this particular time, the sandwich did not come with mayonnaise and lettuce the way that she likes it and the way that is expected. Miss Hansen got out of her vehicle, went inside, approached the manager, demanded a refund, and then went behind the counter because she was going to make her own chicken sandwich. But in the meantime, she just happened to push, slap, poke, and pushed the manager, who happens to be pregnant. Miss Hansen admitted that there may have been a scuffle, but she wasn't going to say who threw the first punch. And apparently Miss Hansen also hoped that the pregnant manager lost her child. Miss Hansen was charged with breach of the peace, and assaulting a pregnant woman, both misdemeanors, and she is out on bond after she posted the $5,000 as ordered by the court. And the final contestant on the Dumb Criminal of the Week comes Kristen Zatmary, Szatmary, common spelling. Apparently, Kristen was outside of her home seated in a taxi. Kristen was outside of her home in a taxi because she had just had a verbal disturbance with her mother. Apparently, police arrived, and when the police were there, they noticed that Kristen had a white powdery substance on her white nostril. The police then asked Kristen to exit the vehicle. Upon stepping out of the vehicle, a feminine hygiene product fell from Kristen's shorts, and a clear bag of a white unknown powdery substance was found on the ground. According to the arrest affidavit, Kristen immediately responded, quote, "It's not mine," end quote. "I'm supposed to give it to someone," quote, end quote. Although not completely described in the police reports, the feminine hygiene product was apparently being used to keep the baggie in a safe storage place. White substance that was found turned out to be Molly, or commonly referred to as MDMA, ecstasy, and Kristen is now charged with possession of a controlled substance and is also out on bond. After tallying the votes between myself and the producer, Kyle, we have come up with a winner. And the winner is, in fact, Kristen Zatmary. And yes, why did she win the Dumb Criminal of the Week? Because the item fell out onto the ground, which turned out to be a controlled substance, and she volunteered that, quote, "It's not mine. I was supposed to deliver it for someone." Now, yes, I guess that's good that she, in fact, confessed to it. Maybe she'll get help for her drug problems. But that type of honesty is not going to go far in the legal system. Not trying to tell criminals to keep their mouth shut. Oh, wait. Yes, I am. Kristen Zatmary, you too are the winner of an official CrimeTalk mug. All you have to do is contact me, and we will ship that to you free of charge. And by the way, for those who have received CrimeTalk mugs, the 10 people that received them should have received them by now. I hope that you enjoy them. I hope they live up to everything you are hoping they're going to be. And guess what? Wait, there's more. Just when you thought that you were the 11th person to request a mug, you didn't get anything, right? Well, we're here to help. So if you go to ScottReisch.com and sign up to receive the newsletter that should be forthcoming, the first 10 people will receive CrimeTalk mugs. And if you don't believe me that they will come, you can just ask the people who have received the mugs. Can I have a show of hand of CrimeTalk individuals that received their free mug last week? You know who you are. Have a great day. Thank you for watching CrimeTalk. We hope you enjoy the channel. We hope you enjoy the commentary. Please subscribe. Please like. Please leave a comment. And if you're going to take everything out of context and everything so seriously, please just leave.